Hello, I'm going to give a quick presentation on Irish, an American quarter horse here at Utah State, and her results in our training and conditioning therapy horse class. So just a quick rundown on some of her horse characteristics. As far as her breed, she's an American quarter horse. She's a mare. She's 6 years old. She weighs around 1,130 pounds, and she's 14.1 hands tall. So she's a pretty small and compact horse. She holds a lot of weight up in her shoulders and in her hips. She has really small feet. So a really good goal for her, I feel like, is to get a little more fit and lose some weight. That'll definitely open up her doors as far as her physical abilities and her possibility to work comfortably in an EAP program. Going to her conformation, she has fine conformation. There's definitely some faults. She's really compact. She's really heavy in the shoulder. She has an uphill build, really small legs. But overall, she's not doing any fancy showing or not requiring her to do any huge movements. So for adaptive riding or any EAP program, she definitely has really good potential. Just some concerns that I'll build upon later. Because of her conformation, she has really stiff, choppy movements, which can definitely pose some problems in an EAP setting where you want a horse to be comfortable, to be balanced, and to not obviously have any pain. So that's definitely going to be something incorporated into a training and conditioning program for her. But overall, her compact size is really good working with kids and smaller participants. Through training, she'll definitely increase her strength and her balance, and hopefully we'll see some improvement in her choppy movements as well. So we did an evaluation on her. We did the adaptive ground skills horse evaluation. So I'm going to talk about some of her results. I'm going to go through her strengths, where she scored a 4 to the 5, where a little bit more training could definitely perfect some of these things, but overall she did an awesome job. So as far as catching, she's super calm with all handlers. You can tell from her previous trainer, her previous time, she had no issues with that. Overall, she's a really calm horse. She's very aware of her surroundings. Will definitely notice things that are out of the ordinary and notice noises, but she'll never or rarely overreact. Standing and grooming, she does a really good job. She pays attention. She knows she's being handled. The only flaw would be she'll bite the rail and kind of bite the lead rope. I feel like that's out of her being anxious. So obviously more training and just exposing her to these calmer situations where she feels safer, kind of understand what's expected to her, I feel like will help with that. Her park, she did a really good job, caught on to that really well. Like I said, her awareness is really good. Her circle work at the walk, she did a great job kind of collecting her body, going calm, paying attention. She's really sensitive to cues, really kept me on track as well. If I get slightly ahead of her, she would stop. If I get too far away or too rushy, then she'll catch on to that. So she's really sensitive, which is definitely really good in the beginning stages. Some of her weaknesses, some she passed on, and most she definitely needs some more training. She definitely will crowd your personal space a little bit. Her ability to back, I feel like because she's so stiff, it's probably not super comfortable for her, so obviously more training will help that. She didn't overly spook to any obstacles, but definitely more training that she doesn't have to hesitate nearly as long. Once you kind of move into leading the trot, free work into transitions and circle work, trot and canter, a lot of the time she get really anxious, really stiff. She'll throw her head, she'll kind of rush forward, get a little goofy, I would call it, in her behavior, and it takes some time to kind of get her to focus, calm down, and work on her balance. So that's definitely something that needs improvement. I feel like if she gets stronger, can carry herself better, she'll be more comfortable, she'll be more willing to work into those transitions and those faster gaits. And then another issue she had was to turn on the haunches. I personally feel like that's because she has a lot of stiffness and soreness in her hips, because she needs to lose some weight. She's not as flexible as she could be, so I definitely see some improvement there. So as far as her evaluation results, I feel like overall she's a good horse. There's no big red flags, there's no huge behavioral problems, there's no huge concerns overall, so she definitely has a lot of optimal EAP programs ahead of her. I feel like some really good ones because of her sensitivity would be equine assisted learning, as far as ground skills go, and then equine facilitated psychotherapy. She'd do really good on the ground. She's aware of herself. She's aware of people around her. She's gentle. She's calm. She's approachable. So I feel like that would be really good in those settings. As long as she's in an appropriate training and conditioning program, and her movements and her gaits and everything can improve and her balance, I feel like she'd do just fine in adaptive riding, a therapeutic riding program. Some non-suitable programs, I think, because of her stiffness in her gaits, and just kind of her build, would be hippotherapy and vaulting. They kind of require a bigger horse to carry participants in a way that they have a long, moving gait, nice and smooth. She's not really built that way. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't feel like that would be the first place we would send her. Some other things that we worked on specifically in the class, obviously she hasn't gotten her riding evaluation yet, or a 90-day trial, but I definitely consider that. In our class, we worked on park, leading, free work, sending, and circle work. Just for time, I want to build on her circle work and her free work. So in free work, I was a little worried because of her prior training. She might have been exposed to an excessive amount of round pen training. It might have gotten in there and just kind of run around like crazy. But she did a really good job considering. She's still really sensitive. She'll definitely kind of take things personally and get a little more hyped up than normal. But we had a lot of wonderful moments of her paying attention to my body movement and yielding, and she has a lot of potential there. Circle work, obviously I think that's the biggest thing she could work on, but it's going to be one of the most beneficial things. In the walk, she did an awesome job. She'll go in straight lines, she'll go in circles. She had some really good moments near the end that Sarah and I noticed going into the trot. She's very unbalanced in the canter, but obviously as you work on all of these and the training ladder, she'll definitely improve. So some training and conditioning plans that I've outlined for her. The two biggest goals, just to go over briefly, would be for her to increase fitness and lose some weight. And then as far as fitness goes, it would be balance and strength. This will require a lot of free working sessions, circle work sessions, a lot of time out in the pasture to kind of run and roam, and then other under saddle conditioning training sessions as well, just to kind of pinpoint where we can fix her balance and where we can get her stronger. Another goal would be preparing her to be an adaptive riding session suitability horse. So obviously getting her used to different handlers, rider awareness, calmness, arenas, having sidewalkers, all of those things. And I think the biggest action for that is just a lot of practice sessions and a lot of mock lessons. So just a quick summary. I feel like Irish's strengths are definitely her personality. She was trained previously to be a reining horse, so I feel like once we start to ride her, you'll see some really good motivation and work ethic. She's really sensitive and aware to her surroundings. Like I mentioned earlier, fitness will expand her abilities as far as an EAP program will go. Some cons, I would say, that because she's a mare, while she was in heat for half of our class, this affects her temperament and her behavior with other horses, so that's definitely a red flag to keep aware of. I was also told that when she's out to pasture with other horses, it kind of flares up, so she definitely needs some more training as far as manners with other horses and just her ability there. Other than that, I think she's a great horse, has a lot of potential. Thank you.